we are being recorded. Hi guys, good evening. This is November the 3rd. Welcome everybody. Appreciate you joining. This is the Q&A that I'm always doing, so appreciate you joining. For those that do not know it yet, the entire recording will be, you can see the entire recording on my YouTube channel. Read Real Estate Made Easy with me, with Erik Timmermans, ET. So if you go to this channel, as you can see, I don't have it all the way up, but there's a bunch of videos. There is entire meetup videos here. So for those that want to go back and look at previous recordings on predictions I've made, feel free to do so. All right. Anyway, this is for entertainment purposes only. I have to say that to protect you and me. So please do your research. I am going to share my opinions, and I'm sharing what I think is important to look at as a real estate investor. But hey, you might disagree with me. I hope you do, and then we can have that discussion as well. But excited for you to be here. So first, let's look at some of the data that the NAR has shared, and as well, Alicia is already doing it. In your bottom right corner, if you have any questions for me, feel free to put those in the bottom right corner, and then when I address your question, you can come off of mute and we can talk about your question. So Alicia Hardy has already asked a question there, and I just answered the question for Candy. Let's dive in. It's pretty obvious, right? I think everybody understands now and knows now that we are basically dead in the water. I do not have, it's always during these meetings that we are not, I'm trying to incorporate as many data points as I have for the month of October, the previous month, but we're just too close to the previous month that I'm having to reference more the September data. We'll also talk about the government shutdown, but I'm just going to dive in. I am in this meeting. I'll start with a national overview, and then I dive into North Carolina. It's important to look at, of course, the national data, but I believe that the local data, and particularly in a market like this, is more important. Anyway, I had already said it in the beginning of the year, and in this case, I hate to be wrong, because we are trending close to do not even 4.1 million units sold in the nation. So we're tracking on doing 4,600,000 sold units in the nation, which for those that have been on the call here with me and have been going through this in September of last year with me, they know that in 2008, when we had the real estate crash, we sold 4.1 million units nationwide. So we're trending to be one of the worst markets ever recorded. But I have to remind you that it's, of course, during COVID, there were people that made a lot of money, but most millionaires are born in a downturn market when nobody's buying, right? Warren Buffett says it's always the best. When everybody's buying, you should be really scared, but nobody's buying, you should be really looking into the data, make sure that you become aggressive. So, but what are we looking at here is, so the NAR predicts that we will be selling 4,600,000 units by the end of this year. The median sales price is 415. Somewhat important data, I guess. Now you see here that this number has not been updated due to the government shutdown. How many houses did we sell? So the NAR is already impacted by the government shutdown, and new home sales, I guess, here we go, and not updated. What is the economic forecast for Zillow? Zillow predicts that this year we see an average increase of home sales by 3%, but next year we really are about to take off. Like everybody thinks that next year we're going to be selling more homes, 14% more homes than this year. And I always say a broken clock is right twice. So let's hope that this 2006 is the year. I personally think that Zillow is right. Is it 14%? I'm not sure, but we definitely are going to experience a higher activity than last year. And I'll touch base on that here in a second. New home sales basically flat this year. Next year, they're going to go up by 3%. Medium home prices increase by 1% this year. I'll dive into what it looks like for North Carolina here in a second. Next year, we're going to see an increase of 4%. Mortgage rates, you see it, and job gains, 1.6 million and 2 million for next year. So that is kind of what the NAR predicts and the housing stats for this year. So if we're going to go to North Carolina, let's focus on North Carolina and see what is happening. So this is just Redfin.com. Redfin. I use Redfin to pull a lot of my data, and we'll do that during this call a few more times. So let me go back here, actually. So here is the median home sales price for North Carolina. We see, nationwide. This is for North Carolina. For North Carolina, we see that the home prices are up 0.6% per year, and that the number of homes sold rose by 13%, and the number of home sales rose by 19.4%. So year over year, we see that prices that we are selling 13.4% more home prices, and that the price went up by 0.6%. So here's my argument. I'm arguing that we are in a housing correction, where I'm going to show you a stat for where the hottest markets are in the nation. And if you see that stat, which is, I believe, this one, once you look at this data and where the hottest markets, 20 hottest markets right now are in the nation, you see that the hottest markets in the nations are the cities, and Wisconsin is on there, Pennsylvania is on there. These are cities where the affordability level is incredibly lower, or lower than the average. So people are still buying properties below average, right? The average sales price, $204,000, way below the average. Here you see a 5 and 575 for Manchester, for New Hampshire. For New Hampshire, that is well below what the average market in the surrounding areas do, right? So if you look at the market where homes are selling $250,000 in Rockford, Illinois, it's where the affordability level is very low. So housing prices are up year over year, but also inventory went up in North Carolina by 19.4%. And we are now officially, we have an inventory that is 4% higher than 2019. Why do I like to look at 2019? 2019 was the last official, and I'm saying official because we had several official years, but the really last normal year, I should say. After that, we had COVID, and then really after COVID, everything got really wacko. And we had a really crazy real estate market. Last year we saw a major uptick in real estate activity by the end of the year. So real estate market has not been really normal since 2019. What I mean with that, we see a cycle from March till end of August in there. A lot of people are asking me what is happening in foreclosures. So right now, foreclosures are up year over year by 17%. Yeah. And everybody's alarm bells are going off. Well, what I did is I wanted to look at, I'm going to show you here in this article, I'm going to show you the 10 markets with the most foreclosures, but I first want to dive into the foreclosure numbers. In 2019, we had a total foreclosure number of 118,673. In today's market, we have a foreclosure rate of 35,602 in North Carolina. So I understand that 17% foreclosure ratio that is up is alarming. I absolutely do. But it helps with the affordability. So we're still a third and more below what the foreclosures numbers were in 2019. And as far as I remember, because I started in 2016. As far as I remember, nobody was freaking out in 2019. So no reason for us to freak out. Now, what are the 10 hottest markets? And you see that Jacksonville, North Carolina is on that list. And Oddly enough, well, maybe call it oddly enough, I was trying to sell a house in Jacksonville, North Carolina, just this spring, and no matter what I did, it was hard for me to sell. And I lost $55,000 on that project. And I finally sold it, but as you can tell, way below what I ever thought I would sell it for. And looking at this data, I'm like, that makes sense. I should have looked at the data earlier. I'm not sure. I haven't looked really into any of the other markets, but I know that Jacksonville, North Carolina, of course, is a major Army town. There's the Air Force is there, the Navy is there, whatever else is there, but there's a major bases there. I understand that Fort Bragg, or however we call the fort in Fayetteville, is not on that market, or the Fayetteville market is not on there. Maybe we look later in the call, I can look at the foreclosure rates in Fayetteville, but again, that's also a large real estate market. So what else is important? Foreclosures are up for 4.3%. That data, of course, is very skewed because the government shut down. We're not getting the real foreclosure data or the unemployment data. I think I have it somewhere here. Where is foreclosure data? I thought I had it here. I guess I don't. And then we saw an increase in prices. So why do I think we are in a market correction? We are in a market correction because if prices rise by 0.6% and inflation is up by 3%, on paper we're losing money. Right? Normally, real estate follows the inflation. So normally, if inflation is up 3%, you see real estate follows that by 3%. But since real estate is only up, real estate prices are only up by 0.6%, and inflation by 3%. On paper, you're losing 2.4%, so you're not increasing it. Now, next year, if Zillow is right, then at 4%, we should be trending slightly over the inflation, which is normal for a real estate year. So I asked Zillow, or AI in this case, what does Zillow forecast for the best and worst markets for 2026? Oddly enough, it is New York, Illinois, Tennessee. So it's all the mostly it's a few markets in New York, but it's all around us: Tennessee, Arizona. So you see that none of the North Carolina markets are in there, which I think is fine because what we saw during COVID, the markets that stayed the most stable were also the markets that didn't see a massive decrease right now. Right? We saw during COVID, Phoenix, Texas, Florida, majorly up in home sales activity. And what are the markets that are declining right now the most? Phoenix, Texas, and Florida. So what are some of the markets that are declining? All of them are in Los Angeles, and the other one is in Texas. So I rest my case right there. What is this mid-price range? So I wanted to give you guys kind of an overview what price range is selling the quickest. And as you can see, there is not really one sales price. I am focusing only on the high-end market and on the bottom market. I truly believe that in this article doesn't agree with me, but I truly believe that there is too much inventory in the mid-range, the blue or the white collar type of buyer. There's too much for that. You need to either focus on the bottom of your market, and you need to focus on the top of the market. And that's what I'm doing now. So just for an example, for those that don't know me, I started investing in 2016. And this year alone, or I have to correct myself, from February of this year to February of next year, I have invested $20.8 million in real estate, meaning I took on $20.8 million in new loans. That's on average $1.5 million per month that I took on. So I truly believe, I'm a true optimist, I guess, but I truly believe that some of these numbers here for 2026 are going to be true. I truly believe that the real estate is about to pick up. I always look with you at the TAR report. So here we go as well. This is the TAR report for Wake County. What is Wake County doing? Listings sold per month. We see an 11% drop off between August and September. Again, no data yet for October. It wouldn't surprise me if we see a massive decline. Massive decline can come from because of the government shutdown. And we do see that because of the government shutdown, that people are holding back on major purchases. I see your hand, Nav. Give me a second. I'll come to you here in just a little bit. So that is also playing a factor into into real estate purchases. Days on the markets are at 66 days currently. In 2019, the days on the market were 65. So although the days on the markets are going up, we were in September, we had 59 days on the market. In October, we are at days on the market at 66 days on the market. If you compare to 2019, it's pretty normal, but we do see a massive slowdown in the real estate. Current mortgage rates. This is not normally the website that I use, but let me go real quick to Mortgage News Daily. Yeah, Mortgage News Daily. I never like when the Fed lowers interest rates. Because when the Fed lowers interest rates, mortgage rates jump, and we do see that the mortgage rates went up again. The mortgage rates were up, highest in 3 weeks. Mortgage rates were down to 6.16%, and now they're hovering at 6.34%. So overall, summary of what I just told you. I think we're going to see a slowdown in the market until the government opens up. I predict that before the end of the year, we see a slight uptick in certain markets. In the market where I am in Raleigh, I definitely believe in December we see an uptick. And I also foresee that in 2026, we're going to be seeing an increase in real estate activity. Nav, question, you raise your hands.
Yeah. Just back maybe a few slides, you talked about tough year for real estate. You were 20 million in debt. Borrowed projects, right?
Correct.
How much are you in? That's mostly borrowed capital. So how much are you invested? Like a few $1 million of your own in order to borrow that 20 million?
No, I borrowed 100%.
100%. Okay.
Yeah. So So if I lost track, but I am building 20 plus houses. The last 2 projects I picked up, we can do 12, and I was at 19. So I'm close to 30 new homes that I'm building in 2026.
Just mostly other people's money, right? Like
yes, yeah. Because I need to use my own money to stay liquid enough. Just for one project, if I'm framing, I'm building 3 houses right now in 5 Points. Just my framing cost, not even in labor, just my framing cost is $160,000, right? So I gotta pay some of that labor throughout the project and before they're done. Yeah.
No worries. I was just curious how you maneuver through that to lending wise. It's just a higher rate, much higher rate.
My rates are on average just below 10%, just slightly over 10%, depending on how much or how close to the LTV I get. But my average loan, the average LTV that I have on all loans is at 62%. So if you do, the reason I like new builds, and in one of my other meetings, I already I shared a report from Realtor. Realtor.com came out with a report that flippers this year have the smallest ever recorded profit in real estate. So I truly think that if you want to be a flipper, if you want to be a rental landlord, to really make sure that you run your numbers conservatively, right? But what I mean is that is rental properties, as I keep saying, I'll dive into some local markets here in a second, because I think A, you got to run your numbers correctly. B, you got to make sure that you understand your numbers and your market very, very well. I see a lot of people right now struggling in Rocky Mount, Fayetteville, the surrounding areas, right? Like properties that I'm having to refinance. For example, Durham, certain properties in Durham that would used to fly off the market, I'm now having to refinance because there's just too much inventory. There's too much competition. I'm refinancing it and keeping it until next year. But as a flipper, you got to run your numbers very conservatively. I used to go up to 75% LTV, meaning if I can sell a house for 100,000, I would go with my purchase and my rehab budget to $75,000, right? I would keep $25,000 margin there. Now, I think you shouldn't go higher than 70, even 65, right? So
Okay.
if you sell a property for 100, don't go higher at 65,000, including rehab. Then, excuse me, on rentals, your insurances, my insurance, your property taxes, my property taxes went up, right? Insurance went up 15%, goes up 15% next year. Rents, on average, went up 1.2%. So the gap between my profit margin on my rentals just went slower, but marginal less, right? So if you want to become a landlord, look into, like, this is the first year I'm ever saying this, but look into some new builds. See how you can buy a new build and cash flow a new build. Don't go into an older property because you have to replace a roof. $8,500. If you're making $300 per month, 85 divided by 300, that is 28 months before you break even on the roof. If the tenant doesn't move out, if the HVAC doesn't break down, if the plumbing doesn't go bad. So if you want to go into the real estate, I think right now, anybody that is going to buy real estate between now and Super Bowl, it's going to be brilliant. Because the activity is low. We just looked at that the sales, that the inventory went up by 19.4%. That days on market just jumped by a week. There are very desperate sellers out there, and definitely builders that are desperate and want to move inventory. They don't care what they make. They just want to move it. And you as an investor can now pick up deals, and people be like, enough. You were brilliant in 2020.
Yeah. Good time to get in if you can weather this. Yeah.
This is the time.
Right. Yeah.
This is the time to get in. Yeah. Let me see if there's any. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. And then Alicia Hardy says, what are house sales like compared to last year? Numbers sold. Yeah. So I just went up there, right? So we last year in September was a very slow month, but so September over September we did 13% more. But year over year, we're still down. So what I normally do here is I go to what I love doing, and feel free in the notes to put a market there that you want me to assess. So I am here I'm going to go to Redfin, and we can maybe I can even do it here. But let's see. So Rocky Mount year over year is up by 15.5%. So this year, that is let me see if this is because this is the sales price. If you list to sales price, so people are having to drop their list price by 3%, Rocky Mount by 3%. There is normally Redfin and Rocky Mount data.
Yeah, never mind.
So homes sold in Rocky Mount 51 in this month. Let's go look at the September of last year. We sold 42. So we see that Rocky Mount is up 21% as well. We see a slight uptick. We saw a slight uptick, and you saw a biggest uptick in May of this year. And in June of 23, we saw the biggest sale there of 73 units. So there is a slight uptick there. Of course, we're now going in a downward market. 40 days is the average day on market. Rocky Mount can be very tricky, guys. I wanted to share an article with you, or an email with you that I got from my management team. Rental applications are down 30%, and that is echoed by other management companies in Rocky Mount as well. Rentals active units in the Rocky Mount market went up from 180 units to 230 units. They don't tell me the time frame on that. But it's a slower demand. So you have a slower demand by 30% slower demand, and you have an increase of 180. You have an increase of 22% in rental property. So if you do have a rental property like I have over 60 there. Be very competitive with your rental properties if you want to fill them before the holidays, right? This is going to be between now and the Super Bowl is going to be the slowest month for real estate. Definitely the rentals, but also for buying. For some reason, people start to get active again after the Super Bowl. Oh, no, we don't want to see the houses. We want to see real estate data. So let's go to... Hi, medium home sales. Let's see homes sold. Trending down. September is 7% less than last year. So you thought last year was already bad in Fayetteville. This is even getting worse. And median days on the market is slightly down by 5%. So you see an uptick at 30 days on the market. There was news that there was some news. Let me see if I can find it. There was some news that there are more soldiers moving to... And I haven't even fed armies and some relocation. So if you are in the Fayetteville market and you're looking at this, this is an article that just came out in October 16th. Army and North and Army South will relocate to Fort Bragg. 86,000 people that are going to be moving into the Fayetteville area. So if you have rentals in the Fayetteville market, you might want to see how you can get into these move. When are they going to be moving? The jobs and less personal expected to happen in the next 6 to 8 weeks. So I just told you that normally between Thanksgiving and the Super Bowl, it's the slowest month in rentals. Well, I guess not. That's not going to be the case in Fayetteville. We're looking at that are 86,000 people going to be moving to Fayetteville, or 86 soldiers and their families. So you have a rental there on the market. Make sure that you ping your management team and say, hey, how can we get on the list of that we house soldiers, army people? They need to be helped. Is there any other market that I need to look at for you guys? Is there any other market that I can compare here? I personally was really... So for those that see me a lot at TRIA or other meetups, I shared, or if you look at my Facebook as well, I shared a list of 500 hottest markets here in the nation. It's an incredible long list, but on that list, Raleigh was at number 36. Wilmington was at number 45, and Charlotte was at number 181. I like that data because Raleigh normally was always below Charlotte, but now you see that the momentum is shifting into Raleigh, and Wilmington is incredibly hot because of Brunswick County. Let me show you where that is for those that want to invest there. Brunswick, no, not Stu, but county. Maps. So this is Wilmington, and for those that have been to Wilmington, here you have the battleship, as you can see. My kids love it. Here you have the boardwalk. I personally like investing in this area. I have 2 properties right now. One I sold within 4 days, and the other one is already getting under contract before we even know we're flipping, and that is in this particular niche in Wilmington. But why is Wilmington on the hottest list or making the top 45 on the 500 hottest market in the nation? Is Brunswick County. So you see Shiloh, you see Oak Island, but right on the other side of the bridge, right on the other side of the water, right on the other side of the boardwalk, builders are moving in aggressively, as you can see, building and buying land and doing a lot of new builds in that area. So that's why Wilmington is on the market. But if you buy in Wilmington, you buy somewhere in this area, or you buy closer to the boardwalk, make sure that you know, as any city in close to you here in Raleigh and in Durham, it's very neighborhood specific. So with that, I'll get off my platform and allow some of you guys to answer. What are your opinions about Angier and Lillington area market? Builders are selling aggressively. Yes. So Santos, Angier, I live in Fuquay. Angier is literally next door. I'm the last road in Wake County. I actually have Harnett, Water County. So Lillington is about 20 minutes down the road from me. Angier is 10 minutes. Every tobacco farm here around us is turned into large neighborhoods. So Angier is one of the fastest growing markets. Lillington just approved several neighborhoods, and you're going to see major activity in that as well. Lillington is one of those cities where people, if you're not familiar with Harnett County is much cheaper in property taxes than Wake County. So people that are close to Raleigh and don't mind to commute, it's like Zebulon and Nightdale and Wake Forest. People that are just, that don't mind to commute will buy right on the edge of Harnett County. So here around the edge, Angier, Lillington, you see massive developments going up because the property taxes are much cheaper. People can still live 30 minutes from Raleigh, but live in a bigger house for way less. So yeah, builders are very aggressive in this area. So yeah. Any other questions? And you guys can ask me anything, come off mute, whatever you guys want to know. And just ask me. For those, by the way, while we're waiting on people, on the 22nd of November at 9 a.m. it's a Saturday, I'm doing a show and tell. So I just told you that I took on $20.8 million in new loans. I was joking around the other day with my attorney. I said, hey, I'm the biggest homeowner in 5 Points, North Raleigh. I own 6 homes there, and I'm going to take you to all 6. I'm going to take you to all 6. So on November 22nd, put it in your calendar at 9 a.m. I'm going to take you to the projects and show you what we're doing, how we're doing, and stuff like that. James Love talks about investing in Goldsboro. Oh, Goldsboro, there is, and Marty, I'll get to you here in a second. Goldsboro is another army town. I personally do not like army towns. I don't know why. I can't tell you anything that I can say, okay, hey, listen, here's the data, other than just now what happens in Jacksonville. Fayetteville probably is not going to see an uptick in foreclosures now that 86,000 people are moving there. But it is just too up and down for me. I had rentals there. If people are getting deployed, which they're protecting our freedom, but if people are getting deployed, that means they're gone for a year, and there's nothing you can do. That you can get their rent, and you have to accept that they're gone. And sometimes they pay rent, sometimes they don't. Yeah, I have invested in Goldsboro. I have invested in Fayetteville. I have invested in Jacksonville. And on average, the markets have treated me decently, but on average, I would be very careful and make sure you have a little bit more margins on your deal when you go there. Now, Goldsboro, I know, I realize, I read a lot of reports. I realize that Goldsboro was on the hottest markets for bigger pockets. And at some point, bigger pockets had said, you need to go to Goldsboro, you need to go to Goldsboro, because also more personnel was moving to that base. But that has already happened, right? So, yeah, sorry, James, I can't give you really good advice other than my gut is telling me, be careful. Marty. Marty.
Oh, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. What's up?
Awesome. Hey, I don't know a lot about DSCR, but I'm kind of curious about it. And since you brought up new construction being a good opportunity for rentals due to the market, would a new construction home be a good DSCR opportunity?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, absolutely. So DSCR looks at DSCR stands for debt service cover ratio or ratio coverage. So basically, DSCR does not look at anything that you do other than your credit score. Some lenders pull a soft pool credit and some do a hard. DSCR looks at the lower of the two numbers between appraised value and the income. Meaning, if you have a property for $1 million and you only are getting $1,800 in income, let me see, because I just got the DSCR quote, then they will only finance up to around $230,000 for you, because the 1,800 is the lower of the two, right? Like the debt service or your income needs to service the debt service. So in this case, I will have a PITI payment of $1,691. Now, if you buy that house for $95,000, but you're getting $1,800 in income, then they base it off of the 95,000. So you want to get a term sheet from a DSCR lender before you make an offer, so that you know what you're up to or up against, right? So yeah, that's a very good strategy to do that. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Absolutely. Alicia is asking, how is your November 6th meeting coming along? Alicia, what do you mean with that?
Oh, I thought you were going to New York for a meeting.
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. Yes. Yes. Oh, wow. You, thank you for reminding me. Yeah. So, guys, I'm flying on November 6th. The meeting is on November 7th. On November 7th, I'm going to the Resi Club data meeting in downtown New York. How is it going? I'm curious if I have to drive instead of flying now with the government shutdown. But yeah, I'm going to the Resi Club. Let me show you. Resi Club is where I get a lot of my data from that I share on my Facebook. Resi Club is a national an analytical company that looks at real estate data, and here you can see all the reports. You can subscribe to them, and there are free options and there are paid options. As you can see, if you have the premium account, then you can look at this report. And as you can see here as well, foreclosure activity remains below pre-pandemic level. Here you can look at where are the hottest housing markets. What is here? That's how I know, for example, that North Carolina is 4% over 2019 inventory numbers. So next month I'll be talking about some of this data that came out of there. The Resi Club is going to be talking a lot about the predictions of 2026. And again, it's all predictions. Everybody's trying to make prediction, but what I want to tell you is every single real estate data analyst I'm listening to, no matter if it's from Chase or from Bigger Pockets or gosh knows where I'm listening to, everybody is telling that 2026 is going to be a better market, that we see an uptick in both real estate and job market creation and all of that stuff. So I'll be there. I'll be sharing the data with you. I'll be going on behalf, of course, of you guys and of TRIA, and coming back with a bunch of notes and data. My head probably be spinning, and I'll be sharing that with you. So check the TRIA calendar. This meeting is continuing to go on the first Monday of each month. So we do it in December, we do it in January, February, and so on. So I'll be sharing the data with you. Absolutely. So by raise of hands, or say I or whatever, who is still investing in real estate? Who is still buying as of today? Who is still looking to buy properties? Say I, and that's up. He is perfect. Marnie is perfect. Marjan
Sorry, I didn't raise my hand.
I'm looking to buy.
We have the right group. We have the right group. Awesome, 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 awesome. I see a lot of people. So what do you guys need? What is if you haven't purchased it yet, what is stopping you, and is there anything I can help you with? What is stopping you from buying right now? Because I truly think that's why I went in so much depth. I truly think that if you buy right, you buy now, and in 2025 in 26 you're gonna be like, people are gonna come to you and say, oh, you were brilliant. So what is stopping you right now?
I need some lots. And is it possible to get discounted lots? I don't know.
Yeah. And so Alicia, what I would do is I would focus on 1 or 2 zip codes max and become an expert in that market, because there are still lots in Durham. There are still lots in Raleigh. You want to be careful in Raleigh that you don't go too far East Durham, because East Durham used to be the hottest, one of the hottest markets right now. But I'm trying to sell a property right now, and people can get a new build closer to downtown for the price I'm trying to sell my flip in East Durham. So make sure that you know if you have Alston Avenue, that you stay a little bit west of there. You want to stay close to downtown. And as a matter of fact, no matter where you're building, if you're building in Raleigh, I am staying, although next year I'm kind of cheating a little bit, but I'm staying north of MLK, stay close to downtown. I'm on the contract on the property slightly under MLK, but it's a very entry level property, and I'm running my numbers low. So focus on 2 zip codes, Alicia, and focus on major cities. Focus on that.
Thank you.
I have 2 or 3 deals right now that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And when I price them out, the lenders, or the hard money lenders I'm going to, they're just charging me outrageous amounts. Not interest rates, 10 to 12%, that's fine. But their origination fees are outrageous. And it's because I don't have more than 5 builds or flips under my belt. So they said, if you could find someone that does it on a regular basis, and you could partner with them, then maybe we could improve those lending rates. So if that's something that you maybe willing to partner on, I'd be open to sharing that with you and seeing if I could bring those, because that's the only thing that's stopping me, those origination fees. And you talked about your 20 mil being just borrowed money versus stuff that you put down. So I'm not even able to do one because they're looking at $100,000, some of them, for origination fees. So it's crazy.
Yeah. I'll be more than happy to look at it. We'll have to look at. I don't do any partnerships, right? Partnerships are for embed and for dancing. Yeah. But I'm for a certain fee. Yes, Marty.
They're looking at, hey, is there a mature builder that's willing to co-sign with you, just to make sure that so we can. They feel more comfortable lending to me.
Depending on the upside, I'm willing to do that. Depending on the numbers, because by the end of the day, if I'm co-signing it, they can come after me as well.
Right.
And yes, I have done it for people, and I've done it for people that are making a lot of good money, and they have to pay me a percentage of the profit with a minimum guaranteed.
That sounds fair.
Yeah,
I can float it your way if you want to share an email.
Email me the deals and we can talk about. I'm not the type of person.
Yeah.
My reputation is be more than.
Yeah. Don't get into anything that you don't think is.
No, but what I mean with that is, even if you send me the deal, I'm not going to tell you no and then go behind your back and say,
no, you got plenty of stuff on your. No, you have plenty. There's plenty out there. From what I've seen, there's so much out there, really.
There's a lot. Thank you. I truly believe that fair enough. I've been saying this for a year, but I truly believe that right now there are deals out there that we are going to, like, I'm at 62% LTV on my new builds, and I truly think by the end of 26, beginning of 27, and I'm sorry for what I'm going to say right now, I am going to be wishing it was 2025 again. Because I'm just going to be like, where are the good deals at? Where are the deals on my new builds? And you know that enough because you've been to my meetups. I don't do a new build if I don't make 100K from the beginning, and that can change throughout the project. But if I'm from the beginning in my underwriting process, I do not make 100,000. I don't even tackle the deal.
Yeah.
And I truly think in 2026, 27. I'm going to have to take less profit margins and underwrite differently because the deals will be gone. I truly believe that. Yeah. So send them to me. So what are some of the other things that people are running into? Why can we not do deals? Here we go, Marty. No stop in place for me.
Oh, so what else is going on? What else is going on, Erik? In working with wholesalers,
yeah,
it seemed hard to be able to walk a property because the property, at least the good properties, are getting sold within 24 hours to 48 hours.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether or not they already have people on their list that they just regularly sell to, or people are buying these properties sight unseen. It would seem more comfortable to be able to go out and see the property.
There is still a lot of sight unseen offers. I missed out on 2 deals in Winston-Salem. So I'm in Winston-Salem, Raleigh-Durham, and Wilmington. That's the only markets I'm in. And people don't want to let me into their properties either, and they still sell them. But then I'll email them the next day and say, hey, did you change your mind? They're like, nope, we're on the contract. I'm like, yo, what in the world?
Mm-hmm.
So it is still happening. It is still happening. So hey, be patient. Like I am also underwriting. Well, not anymore because I got too many deals right now. But I used to underwrite 10 deals a week, 2 a day, two deals, and I say more no to a deal than I say yes. You gotta, and Marty here is saying she's with Coach Corner, and that is a good platform to get started. But I know Ed personally from Coach Corner. In Coach Corner, they're trying to convince you not to do the deal. And if you're still convinced that you're going to do the deal, then they have the right person and the right attitude, and you're looking at the numbers the right way, right? Are you going? I'm just saying something in my case, right? Am I going to say no to a deal that makes me 100,000, or am I going to say no to a deal that makes me 25,000? Of course, I'm going to say no to 25, right? And if that was a question that Coach Corner would ask me and really try to convince me to get out of the deal, I would step out of the deal with $25,000 and not the one with $100,000, because $100,000 to me is life-changing money. It's good money that I want to have, right? And so if you're going into a deal with that attitude, like, why shouldn't I do it? Why shouldn't I do it? Why shouldn't I do it? Instead of how can I do it? Or people these days are trying to convince themselves, are getting too eager to get started, and the margins are getting too big, too small. You got to look at deals that have a decent amount of money, because people look too much at like, oh, I can make $20,000 or I can make $30,000. Yes, you can. But what if you're holding the bag? What if it doesn't go the way you want it to go? Are you, like Marty just asked, are you able to get a DSCR and are you able to refinance? That's how you have to look at it right now. Like the market is just too unstable right now that you can say, hey, I am going to, right? That's why I'm at 62% LTV, loan to value. Am I worried about next year? Am I worried about my $20 million debt? Yeah, my wife is. I'm not, because I can drop my prices by 38% and still sell it and break even. And that's how you have to look at a property. Can I drop the price and still make money or break even? So, and what I just told you, Alicia, as well, if I was to get started in this market, if I wanted a deal right now, what I did wrong in 2016 when I got started is I tried every single zip code. I was Rocky Mount to Burlington, from Wake Forest to Fayetteville and beyond. I missed out on every single deal because I was just not an expert in that market. So become an expert in the market that you want to buy in. Buy in Fayetteville, buy in Fuquay, buy in Raleigh, buy in Angier, buy in Cary, Apex, buy where Wake Forest, Oxford is getting hot. Buy in the markets where people are buying right now. Remember the saying, remember what I'm saying this year. This year I've been saying, if it's hard to buy, it's easy to sell. If it's easy to buy, it's going to be hard to sell. So if you're in a deal that you're looking to buy and there's hardly any competition to buy the deal, are you going to have buyers when you're trying to sell it? Right? Those are the questions you have to ask yourself. And if all of those boxes check yes, buy it, do it, go for it. Right? So. Any other questions, guys? You guys are treating me nicely today. No hard questions. While you guys waiting on all the questions, remember on December 11th is the Triac Christmas party. The tree for members. Guys, we had a blast last year. We have limited amount of seating, so dancing. We can only have 250 people in the door. We have 600 members, so we're going to have to disappoint people. Make sure it's not you. On November 22nd, I'll do my hands-on tour, and on November 13th, we have a great speaker coming. He is going to be talking about if you should hold a property, flip a property, or do something else to a property. Basically, telling you how to calculate your numbers. Basically, trying to implement what I just told you. James Geggs is a investor and a commercial broker. Great speaker. You need to sign up for November 13th. Whew, it sounds like I never liked the 13th, but it is the 13th. So November 13th. My email, I can share my email. My email is eric@rrprental.com, no plural. You find me, you find data like I share daily on Facebook. You find it on YouTube as well. So any other questions?
Hey, Eric, it's Martie.
Yeah.
Is there a short way to kind of tell us how you were able to go from flips to like ground up development? I'm just curious, like, are there qualifiers that you had to meet to get there?
How did I go from there? I just made it a goal one day, and then people will start sending me deals. And the saying goes, believe it until you make it. Fake it until you make it.
Yeah, I guess more so from like the lending side. Like,
yeah,
I know. Yeah, so I know, like, well, private lending, hard money for, existing properties. That's one thing, but like the loans that you're getting for your builds, I'm like, were they looking at you like, hey, how long have you been in business, and have you earned a certain amount of revenue first?
It was a little easier for me because I had 174 rentals, so I had some experience behind me. But I did team up with somebody for some of my deals, and for my first deal, I teamed up with somebody that had done already a ton of builds, because since the beginning, since 2016, I always operated under the motto, if you and you've joined my call several times, but if you if you hear me talk, I always say I don't care about interest rates, and I don't care about what I pay lenders, because the more I pay, the less I can offer to a seller. So my motto has always been, I rather make 1% of $100 than 100% of $0, right? So I rather be doing something and learning than doing nothing. So yeah, on my first deal, I gave away 50% of my deal to somebody to step in and show me the ropes. Yeah, and after that, I got a. Then my addiction really took off, and now I'm just buying, and I don't know how to stop because it's too much fun. So, did that answer your question?
Yeah. Do you go through the same types of lenders, like hard money and private, or do you have to use a different type of lender since you're doing something from the
So
government?
for my flips, I could use local, smaller, private hard money lenders. But I mean, you're talking about some of these projects I'm doing, and the purchase price is $1.4 million, and then you're not even building yet, right? So I really had to learn and reached out. If I underwrite 10 deals a week, I reach out to at least that amount of lenders as well, because I don't want to have all my loans with one lender. I don't want to have all my properties with one property manager. I don't want to have all my projects with one builder, and so on. I always want to diversify, because if you do too much with one person, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, I remember you saying that a couple calls ago.
So just always diversify. Always diversify. So yeah. So, but I had to find out lenders. Right now, I have a lender that will completely withhold any payments per month and get it into the loan, and that's helping me tremendously, right? Like that is, I'm having to make the same down payment on my loan as with other lenders, but all my interest payments are woven into the loan, so I can predict my cash flow a little bit better than I could with if I have to make monthly payment, because on some of the projects I'm doing, my monthly payments are $21,000, so that's going to eat up. Yeah, that's going to eat up somebody's, or that's going to eat up my cash flow. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to butcher this name, and I apologize. The very Miss Jones or Mr. Jones, come off of mute, show your face. Miss Jones is her first time, and she's saying that, hey everyone, it's my first time meeting. I'm curious on where to begin in my career. Can somebody help me? Great question. Thank you for asking that. Everybody has their own story, but my story is that I was on food stamps in 2016, and I joined TRIA, TRIA.com. I'm on the board now. TRIA is a nonprofit, so I'm not going to get paid anything. And I just met members there. I met members there, like the people here on this call are some of them are members, and I just met members there that wanted to do stuff, that wanted to be active, that wanted to help, that wanted to grow together. So Marty is saying welcome. Thank you, Marty. But yeah, this is if you want to get started, I think today is or you're getting started. It's better to get started now on a market that goes up than starting in during COVID, when the market is most likely going down. So
can I just comment a little bit on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
My very first TRIA event was the day that I signed up online. It was actually one of your Q&As. I would love to be able to, I'll tell my story one day, maybe on my own Q&A, but I would say in 2 months, wildly different. A lot of progress, not just with Coach's Corner, but just with the research and the momentum. I would say anybody that's new, TRIA is great. And I'm not just saying that because, they feed you once a month. That's really awesome too. But I learn a lot on these. And I just want to say that I just remember being in this seat. I remember being in the same seat 2 months ago and listening and hearing like, okay, diversify and learn a couple zip codes, which I did. And I'm so grateful for that. 27529, 27610. But all of the events and the people that have been pouring in have made a huge difference. I can't speak highly enough about main meetings. I do meet people at other fix and flip tours, and they're like, no, I've never been to a main meeting. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And I know that's possible. You can attend what you can attend, but I would say between main meetings and Q&As and fix and flip tours, it's been a game changer. So
Awesome.
I welcome and enjoy the ride. It's fun here.
And how do we say your name? Can you come off of mute and please tell me how I say your name?
Yes. My name is Devariana. That's how you say it.
Nice meeting you, Devariana. Yeah, just come join. We're for everybody on this call. We're going to change a few things in TRIA. We're going to do more online meetings. We're going to do more meetings about building, more meetings about fix and flips and stuff like that. Do them online because we understand that everybody's in the comfort of their home, but we're not going to take away any of the in-person meetings. But there's going to be a few changes. And like I said, I think it's a great time to get started. There are some free meetings at TRIA. There you can join TRIA for $20 a month, or you can pay the $200 annual fee. Come check it out. You become, 90% different or 90% the same of the 3 people you hang out the most. So start hanging out with people that are doing what you're trying to accomplish, and you will accomplish that as well.
Thank you.
Awesome. Any questions you have? Any other questions you have?
Yeah, tell us where you hang out so we can become like you.
I'm hanging out at TRIA. Tomorrow, no joke. Tomorrow night, I am in Wake Forest. Tomorrow night, it's about an hour away from my house, but I'm going to be there. Yeah.
No, like for you, like, right. So I don't know whether you want to say or not, but do you do mindset sessions or coaching with anybody, or anybody coach you or something? Like, I think that's what he was more trying to say. I don't know. I'm not for sure.
So I don't coach. I will. I will help people that have, like nawaf has said, hey, can you? I'm struggling with getting a loan because I have a property, but I don't have the experience. I can step in then. My whole thing is I just don't. At that point, I put in place a JV. It's very specific, describe what I will do, what the other person will do. So there's no gray area. I'm a very, sounds maybe weird, I'm a very sensitive person. So I always feel like if I coach somebody, like Coach Corner, they're doing a fantastic job, by the way. But I feel I'm setting myself up for failure. The expectation is here, and I'm afraid I'm going to deliver here. Do I have a coach? I have a coach. I spoke to my coach today, right? And my coach is challenging me on a daily, weekly basis. So my year always ends by the end of November, because December, anybody's too busy doing other things. I'll look at deals. I'll look at if there's a deal on the market. But I gather my information for what I do for taxes, but I focus the entire month on goal setting. What are my goals for next year? How am I going to achieve that? What's my goals for my family, for my health, for et cetera, et cetera. And that's why I love going this end of this week to the Resi Club, because I will know the data, so I can focus on next year. What is the data going to be? I've already set myself up for that. Next year is going to be a large year for me, and I hope that. And we can do on December 1st, or whenever this next meeting is. Yeah, December 1st, we can do a goal setting meeting. But I'm using the Wheel of Life method. I'm going with my coach through the Wheel of Life, and I have to rate my personal growth, my health, my friends, my love, my recreation, my spirituality, my career, and my finances. So, for example, if I say finances is a 2. I say, why is it a 2, and how can I make it a 5? If I say personal growth is a 1, why is it a 1, and how can I make it a 5? And then based on that, and I write a whole paragraph, very personal paragraph about all of these things, right? Friends, what is my ideal friend, and how can I gain friends, or how can I lose friends? And how can I make friends a 5 instead of a 4, for example, right? And then based on that, you're going to write your goals for next year. And then you also have your finances and stuff like that. So, but my whole thing is I like to aim high. And I also like to share goals, and people sometimes feel like I'm bragging, but the more I share goals, the more people I have that hold me accountable. So I can share you one goal, and I hope you all hold me accountable. But my goal for next year, you're all gonna laugh, you're all gonna say like, "Oh." My goal for next year is to do $500,000 profit per month, no, per year, per month, and so I need more deals. And then based on that, you're gonna say, do I have a team? What do I look at? Right? You have to identify, will I do 500 flips to get there, or will I do 100 flips that make me 4 times as much as the 500 flips I wanted to do? So what will I look at? Will I spend more time, or will I create more money? So just, I hope when you set your goals for next year, and when you come hang out in the rooms that I hang out, is like, aim high, aim so high that you think I'm never going to achieve it, and then try to achieve that. Don't tell yourself I'm never going to achieve it. Like $500,000 per month net profit, I have never made that. I'll figure it out how to do it. But if I don't try it, I will never get there. What was it? McConaughey said, if you aim for the stars and you end up on the moon, that is higher than if you aim for the moon and you end up somewhere in the atmosphere. Right? Like aim high and give it your best, because you always end up higher as aiming low, and you achieve that, if that makes sense. So that is how I work, that's how I operate. That doesn't mean that you have to do it the same way, but that's a little bit about my coach, and why I don't coach people is because I think I set myself up for disappointing people, if that makes sense. But that's why I do this free event. That's why I take people to my properties. There's 2 people that have come to my show and tell twice, and they're now going to build in one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Raleigh. They're now going to build 2 new builds. They are taking on a loan for close to $2 million. I'm going to be on the loan, and their profit is somewhere around $400,000 to $500,000 per property, because they're taking action and they're taking a risk. And my hope is that throughout these calls, throughout my meetups, that I inspire people to say, if he can do it, if that dumb guy from Amsterdam can do it, I can do that. I can do that way better. And I hope that now there's 13 people left on the call. I hope that I see those 13 people sometimes in a restaurant, and we all have dinner together, and I say, my gosh, man, it started there. A goal is a dream with a deadline. Yeah. And then, but is it, and a goal without a deadline. No, what is it? And a goal without a plan is a dream. So have a plan. Anyway, sorry, I went on a rampage there, but you got me going there. I seriously, man, I'm so excited that those people take action, and yeah, I hope it's you guys at some point. Hi, any other questions? We went a little longer than an hour. Are there any other questions you might have? Hi, I see you guys during the Tree Up Meetup. If you're not tomorrow in Wake Forest, be there on the 13th. And if you want to...
Oh, there is a question.
Oh.
Someone pop one in the chat.
Do you recommend any books? Oh, do I recommend any books? Oh, now you got me started. Alicia, have a good night. Thank you for joining. Start with Bigger Pockets. Rich Dad Poor Dad. Start with Rich Dad Poor Dad. Start listening to podcasts like On the Market. Start listening to any other Bigger Pocket podcasts that are out there. What else? Rich Dad Poor Dad. The Millionaire Next Door. I love that one.
While you look, I will make a recommendation. Millionaire Real Estate Investor by Gary Keller.
I don't know that book.
That book is good because I think it may work well because it talks about all different types of strategy in real estate. There are a million ways to make $1 million in real estate.
Yeah.
So I don't know what DeVry wants to do, whether she wants to do wholesaler, BRRRR, rebuild, new construction, private lender. So there's so many ways. So I think that book will open eyes for her.
Put it in the chat, Vinny. Put it in the chat, please. The title.
Sure, I will do it right now.
Then Flip Your Future by Ryan Panana. I like the guy. He keeps it real as well. He's also a guy that's in the Lord, and you can tell that by the way he's trying to help people. And then I like that David Green a lot. So Sold by David Green. That's another Bigger Pockets book. David Green is a very dry humor, and he keeps it very real when you look at data. He's very good in data. So Bigger Pockets, Millionaire Next Door, Flip Your Future, Millionaire Real Estate Developer, and Sold. Next time I see you, you better have finished all books.
Big challenge.
But Rich Dad Poor Dad really changed my mind. I was in my W-2 and they just cut my salary, and I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I realized if I go to another job, I make myself poor again, although they pay me more. So instead of going to another job, I focused on buying real estate.
Yeah, that's the Bible actually, Rich Dad.
Oh, that's the Bible. Yeah.
So one should start with that for sure.
Yeah, how to invest in real estate from Bigger Pockets. Bigger Pockets is basically the Facebook page for real estate investors. I wouldn't say that don't buy a subscription or any of that. I'm not saying that, but look at their book recommendations and stuff like that. So yeah. Hi guys, have a good evening. Enjoy. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate everybody's time, and I'll see you guys out there. You have my email address as well. For those that don't have it, again, Erik@rrprental.com, and otherwise you have my contact details on Facebook. Appreciate you guys. Laura, thank you. Have a good night. Marty,
Thank you, Erik.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. Bye. James.